Chapter 1. At first look, the town of Bradford was a motley gathering of different buildings and structures. The first building a traveler saw was Goldman's Saloon, and the doorway boasted a painted sign of fresh whiskey, hot food. The long bar inside nearly spanned the length of the room, with floor-to-ceiling shelves behind it, exhibiting a variety of bottles, glasses, and knickknacks. Bert Goldman grew up as a con man, petty thief, and talented hustler who knew how to brew alcoholic spirits. A big man of 6'4" with muscular arms and an ash axe handle, he kept the biggest saloon in town orderly and more of a meeting place than a drinking establishment. The locals were confident that Goldman's was the place to find out news and happenings, just by sitting for a spell in the wooden chairs on the wide boardwalk in front. Next to the saloon stood a gray, weathered wooden building with two small windows protected by close-set iron bars. Bruno Stenson built and sold guns from his weapons store, for the right price, of course. An arms dealer before the war, he had brought his gun-making equipment to the wilds of the Southwestern Territory and supplied anyone who could ante up the price. The smell of gun oil, steel shavings, and cold iron permeated the interior. A glass case of tiny to large blade knives, not suitable for kitchen use, caused many to stop and stare. 24 Sharps and Winchester rifles hung on the walls. If another war ever came, Stenson was ready. Directly across the dusty lane was the official town hall building. Mayor William Whatley maintained his desk and files there, and the public room had seen several shouting matches when the esteemed mayor could not come to a decision over a calf or a horse. Voted into office and given a modest salary, William Whatley had served 11 years with no opposition. Any given afternoon could find the mayor lean back in his wooden chair asleep, resting his worn leather boots on his desk. The small office of the sheriff, tucked in the corner of Town Hall, had been vacant coming up on 5 years. A shooting near the corrals late one night led to the sheriff being pronounced dead in the morning from an ugly bullet hole in the side of his head. The mayor's efforts requesting a replacement from Santa Fe were met with silence. When Mayor Whately pressed the matter, he learned that there was no one to come keep the peace in Bradford. Court was up in Santa Fe, and nobody wanted to risk transporting some criminal alone on that trail. One jail cell door was closed, the chairs and benches in their proper place, and the duly gleaming silver badge rested silently under an upside-down clear glass bowl. The only other occupant of the office was the half-thick inch coating of undisturbed dust. To the north of Town Hall, spaced out about 30 yards, was a single-story wooden building belonging to Dr. Woodson Baines. A veteran of varied armed conflicts from the East Coast to the West, Dr. Baines had been on the verge of retirement for 20 years. Doc tended to the bleeding, broken, shot, and mangled bodies of the unfortunate from mysterious unknown origins. North of Doc Baines was the jaunty two-story whitewashed Hotel Bradford, which sat at a stately 90 degrees to the rest of the town. A trading post, packed full of manufactured goods from points east, sat back from the buildings on the east side. Flint Carlson and his wife Hazel Kent Carlson were the senior residents of Bradford, and kept the post full of salt and pepper, matches, several different elixirs, and assorted cloths and fabrics. Chick Miller's saloon sat like an old stone bear on the far north edge of town. The Bradford Bank, run by William Huddleston, sat serenely off by itself, at least 50 yards from all the other buildings on the west side, kept also in a glaring whitewash with gleaming windows. The structure boasted not just one safe, but a Hall & Company square black safe and another heavy brass Yale safe. The most beautiful building in the town was the Bradford Congregational Church, sitting on a nearly flat piece of grassy acreage meticulously maintained by Pastor Edgar Thurston.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.